It is rare to find so much industry expertise all in one spot, right at your fingertips. The world of public adjusting and insurance claims can be a scary one. This changes now. That's why we built this podcast for you, where all the industry experts converge. Let us be your guide to education and personal growth. You're listening to Because Experience Matters, the show for public adjusters who want to up their game. Hosted by the 2021 Public Adjuster of the Year, Jack Hanks. How much money are you leaving on the table by not knowing all the approaches you can take to maximize the payouts to the insured and profits for your business? On this show, you will discover untapped strategies to become an unstoppable public adjuster and an effective advocate for your clients. In every episode, Jack brings on all the industry big dogs, including leading roofers, contractors, lawyers, accountants, and marketers. You'll access the insider scoop, real case studies, real obstacles, and actionable winning solutions. Let's jump in so that you can stop working hard and start working smart.
Hey guys, Jack Hanks. Welcome to episode number 2, Because Experience Matters podcast. That's right.
Ooh.
Our special guest today is honestly one of my best friends in this industry and a really, really good dude. Jack Pinsel with Hail 911.
What's up, everybody? And Jackie Hanks, I appreciate that because it's when you sent this out to me about a week ago, and it's one of the podcasts that I get excited about because you're the real deal. You're a good dude, and I'm honored to be on this.
Dude, I really appreciate that. We try to. I think the Midwest work ethic is, hard work pays off, right? I think that's 99.9% of it, right? So
it's hard work and being good people, though, right? You can work hard, doesn't mean you're a good person always.
Ooh, it's a slippery slope, right? It's just, you got to watch. It's a daily thing, man. You got to take a deep breath every day, and what do they say? The hardest decisions are the best decisions are the hardest ones to make, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I want to start here. We're not going to talk very much business at all. This is more of a behind the scenes, Jack Pinsel, into look at his life and his how he looks upon things. And I think we have a lot of similar views, a lot of similar upbringing, a lot of similar stuff around, how we look at things. So I want to go back. I think the coolest moment I had at SVG, you and I and your wife and your kids and my son and his best friend, Trevor, who both work for me. And Matt Daskin was there. I think Derek Klein was there. A couple of my attorneys, Nick was there.
We had the whole crew, Jack. We had the whole crew.
And I'm looking around at this and I'm like, you know what? I'm a lucky SOB, dude. I mean, I get, I work my tail off, but yet I have, number one, my family with me, and number two, all my great friends. And the really cool part to that little group there is we're at the end of the table and our kids are at the end of the table. And next thing I know, they have this bonding. Thing.
Yeah. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
So tell me about how the kids, was it difficult for you as was for me to bring your kids into this thing?
So initially, I have 4 boys, as you know. One of them was playing college ball, blew out his knee, and he came up with this genius idea to say, hey, Dad, you got COVID going on. How about I come work for you since I'm not playing ball and I'm online anyways? And I thought about it for about 2 seconds, Jack, and I said, no.
Yeah.
Because you want them to get in different cultures and environments and spread their wings and get out there. Yes. So it was difficult for me initially to say yes.
So same thing so when Trevor and Jude were both, they graduated U of A 2021. Yeah, a year ago. And they're middle of COVID bullshit. They didn't go to class for a year and a half. Everything was online. Nobody's hiring. They're like, hey, Dad, we want to do this. I'm like, no, you don't. This, you don't want to be my kid in this business and da. And we talked and I finally like, you know what, Trev, here's the deal though. If you guys come aboard this thing, I'm going to treat you harder and more, and I'm going to be on you more than anyone else has you ever seen in your entire life. Because I hate entitlement.
As we should. Yes.
And I hate entitlement and I hate laziness. And I'm like, you're going to learn the hard way. You're going to, when the storm comes, you're going to sleep in campers and you're going to just learn the bullshit. That's the only way to do it, right?
Sure. And so same thing. So we agreed Tim and I to try this for a year. And it's hard, Jack, because you don't want them to be entitled and you want them to earn everything that comes their way. So I absolutely have been a lot harder on my son than I am anyone else. But you got to, as a not only a business owner, but as a father,
Yeah.
you kind of balance that out of how is that healthy for them as well. And so that's part of the equation.
I take a lot of, I see my problem, and I'll admit to this, I kick into dad mode too easily with Trev instead of employer mode, employee mode. And, you know, it's hard because I want him to do greatness and be great. But at the same time, I want him to freaking earn it and sweat it out. And you know what I mean?
But let me ask you this, Jack, and we'll get more into this, but what is the final answer for you now? Like how grateful are you for this opportunity?
Well, here's the thing. Ironically, without Jude and Trevor, so we did, not to brag, but I'm going a little bit, we did 423 IDA claims.
Okay.
In New Orleans. And
massive.
Yeah. And I'll tell you from the bottom of my heart, we would not have performed 2/3 of that without those two kids.
That's awesome.
They drove there. They picked up Kevin Kay in Dallas. They drove down in a motorhome. They set up shop. They set up a camp. I rolled into town and was all ready to go. And these two kids literally slept in a freaking motorhome in vacant buildings with, you know, whatever we get our hands on there for a few months. And they learned the hardest part of this. Their first month, they were in a Cat 5 hurricane in the middle of it in New Orleans with no power, no heat, no food. And they figured it out. And honestly, they did 420 documents, investigations.
That's amazing.
To go. Yeah. And they were looking at $5-6 million claims. And they got it now. So next hurricane, dude, we'll do 850 claims because.
Let me tell you something though, Jackie. It doesn't surprise me, right? Because the dynamics and it's why our children hit it off so well as well. So when I first met them, I was able to see it right away. So none of that surprises me, right? Because you can see that in just the way they handled themselves from that first introduction. And, you know, same thing with my son. He came in here and, you know, it was a rough run, but it wasn't long before he was helping lead our sales team in an arena that he's never been in before.
Isn't that crazy?
It's such a gift, and there's so many different components. But for me, you know, and I have two of my sons that work here, one full time and one as he's kind of pursuing Nick in his real estate career and trying to be an influencer in social media. He's here a lot. It's the
and Travis
best
is like
gift.
your kid. He's like an adopted kid. Right?
Travis, he is like another child of mine. But Jack, it is the best gift that the man upstairs ever given me to be able to come to work every day. And sure, no one's going to BS. It's tough sometimes, right? Because you want to play dad rather than leader and employer. But again, it's part of that equation that we're so blessed, Jack, that we get the opportunity to have our kids here.
Yeah, I was totally against it. And now, I mean, I take zero credit for it because my partner, I had to be talked into it because I was like, I was adamant. I'm like, no, dude, you need to go foster your own, find your own way. I don't want you, you know, same thing. I don't want you to look at Jack Hanks' kid and you're blah, 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 blah. But, you know, I get these texts and these feedbacks from our clients, like, Trev's great. He answered my questions. He's much more polite than I am.
Sure. Well, that doesn't take a lot, Jack.
Well, you know, but and then, you know, the cool part too is the technology, man. I mean, you and I were struggling to get on Zoom today and figure this stuff out. And these kids come in and dude, they got the droning and the docu-sketches. Same. I'm sure your kid's the same way, right? I mean,
100%. Let me ask you this, right? And this is a kind of a reality for me. Sometimes I listen to him and he's talking to whether it's a customer or a prospective client. And I'm like, who is he?
Yeah.
How did this happen? he's better than me. And not that takes much, Jack, because, you know, I'm just average.
Well, I tell him,
but it's same with your kid. Like, how many times are you in a situation that you get to see him shine and you're like, wow, you know, what they are learning, because they're like sponges, you know, and it doesn't have to be our kids as leaders, the opportunity to take that younger generation and give them the ability to grow and learn, and the impacts that we can have on their lives is priceless.
Well, yeah, not exactly like, so you know what, really, so this is going to sound weird to you, maybe not, but I remember I won that PA of the Year award, right? You
did.
Yeah, I won. And I was actually back in Scottsdale about a week later, and I was at I'll never forget this moment my entire life. I'm 55, right? And I'm at this drive-through at the coffee shop, come in the office like, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. And I get my coffee and I set it in a cup. I remember this moment like it's so clear. It's like an epiphany. And it dawned on me that I feel like myself, we have a duty to lead this industry to a place it's never gone before. We need to get it cleaned up. We need to get people righteous and honest and just do the right thing all the time, because it dawned on me like, man, I need to do more training. I need to do more education. And instead of selling all the time, which, type A, that sucks, right? I want to do more like answering. Like, so I've been real diligent the last couple of months on SPG and level the playing field, not to like, hey, I'll do your claim, but here's how I would handle here's some information for you. So I feel we have a duty to our employees, our spouses, our children, our community, all that stuff. And that's a big burden, man.
So let me tell you this. First of all, congrats on that PA. It's well deserved. You didn't win that though because of volume. You didn't win that because of the biggest claim. You were recognized for that, Jack, because of the impact that you have within our community. And this isn't a, rah for Jack here. This is just for a challenge for all of us, that we all have that ability.
Yeah.
Trophy or no trophy, every time we come into the office, the ability that we can challenge our team and create that culture to impact lives around us. And that's something that we preach on a regular basis here.
You know what's sad? It took me 55 years to get to that point.
Oh yeah. I'm still learning.
Yeah. It's, I really, really feel, there's a sense of responsibility that our firm has, I feel, and that's our new thing. It's like, I want to be respected all the way across the board, from our competitors, the insurance companies, our vendors, my friends. And if you can get that respect thing, and it comes from, education and just doing the right thing and the grind and the work ethic. And it's all those words we use, I think, too easily.
Right.
And it's tough, man.
So, even today we huddled up with some of the leadership in here and sales guys. And I said, listen, how do y'all let's pick a book and let's meet once a week and let's talk about, what we're learning. And we talked about, we'll pick the book. We haven't picked it yet, Jack, but is it going to be about sales? Is it going to be about mentorship? Is it going to be about life? And we're all life, right?
Yeah.
Like how can we, again, impact the lives of people that come across us and make a difference? And so I'm excited because all of us were on that same page when we talked about what we can category we can choose it from. And again, Jack, it's all those little things. And to have your son, right, to have our son be part of that and see dad, right, it's shaping them for the future as well, of what they're going to be able to impact the others around them too.
I tell my kids this all, my daughter too, she's a senior at U of A, and they're such better people than I was at their age.
Oh my God.
And it's ridiculous. Yes.
We didn't have the mentorship that we had, right? And I don't know about you. I didn't, my dad was amazing, but my dad traveled and he was out at work a lot. So
what did your dad do?
My dad passed 9 years ago,
right?
But he was the influence in my life, right, Jack? He had his own company too, did imports and exports, but
in Chicago,
and then he went to New Jersey and New York. But again, the integrity, the character, that was all influenced by my dad. And I'm grateful that I had that opportunity, because a lot of us don't.
Yeah. My dad was a plumber, right? In South Bend, Indiana, right? So he'd leave at 5:30 in the morning and he'd come home like at 4, just beat the crap, dirty, and he never missed a ball game. He coached me. He showed up at every event, and he worked his ass off to the day, when he passed 9 years, same thing, 9 years ago, very, very coincidental. And, but what was the difference though, I feel, I'm more, my dad was always a rock there for me, but we were emotionally connected, but my kids are much more in tune with that, I feel, than we were. And I think that's a great thing for our culture coming up. All my kids' friends and my daughter's friends, they're all better people than I was when I was 24, 23.
But that didn't take much for us, Jack.
Honestly, when I was their age, I was worried about where I was going to go for happy hour that night after work. And I don't really care about work and the whole, they care about the environment and the politics and the homelessness. And my daughter's volunteering in Tucson for a law firm that's doing migrant work. And it's crazy to me that it even dude, when you were 23, what did you care about? Getting to softball and bowling and drinking? I mean, right? Seriously, right?
I wasn't bowling, Jack.
I bowled a lot in Indiana, bro.
Oh, I mean, you're in Indiana. And we're going to touch about this later, right? But it's another thing. We'll talk about the balance later on, Jack.
Yes.
But like, that's such a gift that you had your dad, right? He went to your games, he coached. My dad wasn't, but it wasn't because he was a bad dad.
Yeah.
My dad was amazing, but he was gone. He just traveled. And so that's why we talk about now, as we talk among other leaders, you have to have that balance. It's why I've coached, 600 different teams over the years of hockey and football and basketball, because I wanted that for my kids.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have that balance. And a lot of people would question me, why aren't you traveling and growing your business? And I'm like, because I'm having the ability and opportunity to be with my kids. And you know how fast this goes by.
Oh, dude.
And I don't want to miss it.
Well, dude, parenting is a huge responsibility, right? It's probably the
Yes.
most, dude, it's, I learned with my kids a few years ago that the minute I learned to apologize for them, the better parent I became, because we screw up a lot, man. Right.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
minute I learned that, hey, man, dad's an idiot today, I'm sorry,
Yep.
the better we got along. And I think it gives you a lot of credence that way.
Sure. But that's it, right? You have to be humble and
Yeah.
be able to acknowledge when we make mistakes. And like you said, I've had a lot of practice,
Yeah.
right?
So that
That's good.
balancing, man, I think I just once again got that, because honestly, before, when I was, I was a restoration contractor forever, for like 20 some years, and dude, it was all work and no play. And I get home and I was a zombie, and that wasn't fair to my wife at that time, my kids, my friends, and it took me a long time to finally find that this work shit is just, it's work. We're not curing cancer. We ain't going to the moon, bro.
No.
We're doing important work. I give you that. But at
Right.
the same time, dude, how did you find, was it a process or was it?
You know what, Jack, I think, and again, it's not making it better than anyone else. I have
Yeah.
a lot of weaknesses. One of my strengths early on though was balance. And so I was
Okay.
gifted and blessed that I did a really good job at that. My family always came first, and I didn't work 80 hours a week, and I wasn't traveling 5 days a week because I wanted to coach my kids' games. And you don't know what tomorrow, right? We look at what this
Dude.
industry lost, this weekend, Joe Moneybring from Bullet.
Yeah, I saw
He's
that.
39 years old, Jack, an amazing company and such a good guy, right? You see what's on social media,
Yeah.
the impact that he had on people's lives, and you just don't know what tomorrow brings. And it's why we have to just be thankful for every day and do the opportunity that we have to, help those people around us and make an impact to them.
Yeah, it's hard though. I mean, literally, it takes, because I tell her I'm a type A Gemini only child. So good luck, right? That's a lot,
Right.
and it finally, I'm finally at that point in my life where I guess I'm comfortable who I am and what I'm doing. But it took a while, man. I felt I always had to prove something, even to my kids, and be this,
Sure.
and at the end of the day, they just want to play catch in the backyard, bro.
They want
Right.
time. They
Yeah.
want time. They don't care about the other stuff. They want your time.
Yep.
And so again, though, what we kicked this off with, the blessing that we have to have our boys work for us and be part of this. And it doesn't have to be your kids, right? It's
Right, no.
today's younger generation. The fact that we said moments ago, right? They're sponges. They want to learn. And if you can do that in a healthy environment and mentor them, it's nothing less than an amazing gift.
One thing I think this business lacks is we all there's all these we all train, right? I train PAs and all these sales trainings, and we all need that stuff, right? But I think one of the best events I went to a few years ago was Paul and Kim Reed's.
Yeah.
Well, I think you were there, weren't you?
I
in
was
Denver?
not. I was not.
And we didn't talk about roofing. We talked about parenting and life skills, and it's so hard to be an entrepreneur and still be a person at the same time, right? Because your business becomes yourself. And I struggle with that. I'm doing 10 times better with that, but it takes such a hard, and your wife works there too, right? I mean, good God.
Right. So, and she has to tolerate me in the house. And the past year, she's been really hands-on here at the office. So she's
that-
the
is that helped or
she's the
hurt?
hero. She's the hero in this.
Well,
Jack.
Kim's a much better. She's awesome. She's more awesome than you by far.
Again,
Club.
everybody knows that.
So let's talk about, has that helped or hurt, or was it a roller coaster? Or,
again, right, as a leader, an entrepreneur, especially as a husband, be able to watch your wife grow. I can remember 3-4 years ago where if I asked Kim to interact with a customer, she was like, whoa, time
Yeah.
out here. And now she loves it. And there's no doubt our customers love talking to her than myself. So that again, Jack, I'll keep using this word. It's been a gift, right?
Yeah.
There's struggles with it, right?
Sure.
Because, you're coming home with that. But the fact
You
that
guys,
she's
when you
been
get home, you
involved-
make like, you say, hey, after 5 o'clock, we're not talking about this stuff. I mean,
well, unfortunately, the world that we're in,
Yeah.
Kim does a lot of our data. So it's more a glass of wine at midnight as she's pulling data. And
That's
she's
why we
throwing
get along so
punches.
well.
Jack, she throws punches, and I'm getting good at weaving. But no, she's been such a blessing to our company.
So that's I don't yeah, my ex-wife and I, she did my books for a while, and I thought we are going to kill each other because I could never let it go. And it's difficult, man. And one thing that I struggle with too, and Nick Forcell and I talked about this, is when you're and also Gary Vee had a video on this as well a couple weeks ago. I saw is this is what we do, right? It's in our blood. It never dawned on us not to do work for ourselves, run our own businesses, and have all this stuff that you know what I mean? It's crazy,
Sure.
right? And I used to get resentful to my employees that they didn't work as hard as I am.
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
and it literally, I'm so much better. Once again, I'm learning. But dude, I used to like, it's Sunday morning. Why can't you fucking answer your phone? Like, I got stuff to talk about, right?
It's 11 o'clock. I'm texting you. Why aren't you answering?
Yeah,
And that's
Exactly.
something where you learn, right, Jack? Because that's been a tough, and that what you're referencing with Gary Vee was no one's going to work like we do as owners, nor should they.
Yeah.
Nor should they. And sometimes I've learned, especially in the last couple of years as well, stop texting at 11 o'clock. We have a work chat that has our whole leadership team in it. They don't need to hear from me at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'm midst of typing and I'm like, oh, wait. Or again, if I'm not putting it down on my own, it's Kim doing that right hook.
Yeah.
saying, put your phone down. So
Turn your phone
been
over
a
while
good
eating
learning
dinner.
lesson.
It's
Now, but also giving our team the respect of having their time with their family on something that doesn't need to be communicated again at 10, 11 o'clock at night.
yeah, what good's that gonna do, right? It's gonna piss them off. Again, here's Pencil again, or Hanks, here's Bug.
Right.
Like, dude,
Right.
relax.
But our
right?
minds, right? Our minds don't stop, right? So you're
Yes.
going and again, it's a discipline to be able to again lead our teams in a healthy environment that we respect their time with their families as well.
Well, it's a gift and a curse, right?
No, 100%.
I mean, we're all type A's running our own business, like and you got to learn how to manage. Like, that's that balance thing again. You got to learn how to manage those, because I guarantee if I'm working for, I don't hear from me 11 o'clock on Sunday night. Hell no. Or it's
I mean, I love hearing from you at 11 o'clock, Jackie.
That's
but
true, because we got something.
That's 'cause
It's usually after a football
that's
game
good.
when the
Oh,
Packers
we're
are
talking about a dodgeball game that still needs to
Yeah.
happen.
next year.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. So, man, your whole family, huh? And your other boys in your other boys in Dallas, right?
I got Dan who got out of the military a few years ago. He's going to school for criminology in Texas.
Oh,
and
wow.
I got Joe who's working in California, doing amazing. A lot of us know that story. The last couple of years, he's just been such a 180 turnaround.
Yeah.
He's actually helping run a rehab center in LA.
Oh.
Right now. So again, beyond blessed.
Dude, the recovery stuff is such a man, that's heavy, right?
Yeah. So you see what Kimberly and the Reeds have done in that whole group, right? With the recovery in our industry and the lives it's impacting, and it's real, right?
Oh,
Because I would have put millions of dollars. I never have one of my own kids struggle with addiction, and there's no prejudice, right? It's all over. So to have that kind of support and empowering people to get better is so amazing to watch.
My family struggled with that as well, and it beat our ass, man. It not going to kid you. I won't tell the whole story, but it affected my marriage. I mean, it affected my kids. I mean, it wasn't me personally, but it was in our family.
Sure.
And it took me forever to understand it, and all the clinics in the world and the rehab centers and all, until they want it bad enough and they understand that it is a freaking disease and it does suck. can you imagine not be able to control that?
No.
And you know,
But
I have it.
Go ahead. I'm
dude.
sorry. No, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I can walk into Circle K and buy gas and a Diet Coke and I'm fine. I can't imagine walking in and having all these things barking at you
Right. Everywhere you go.
everywhere you go, to movies, to sporting event, to out to dinner, to marketing events, to trade
Sure.
shows,
Sure.
to, you know, I just, it's such and you know, what's scary in this industry, especially, I go on Facebook almost twice, 3 times a week, and somebody for industry is passed because of their addiction. And
Yeah.
dude, it's such a slippery slope for all of us.
It
you
is.
know?
But look
And
at the
it-
celebration, Jack, of how many times did you go on now and you see the coin?
Yeah.
2
Yeah. Bubba
weeks,
today.
2
Bubba
months,
Richards 3 years. or
22
9
years, 3 years. And,
Yeah.
you know, you look at the likes, there's 700, there's
Yeah.
400. There's such a celebration, people rooting on. And we haven't talked a lot about it and we don't need to go there. But the core of it, though, right, at least for my family, and I know a lot of it is with you and really in our industry, is having that faith in him that
Yeah.
God's got his hands on this. And without him, I'd be in big trouble.
Yeah. There's a path, right? And just, you know, you got to believe that eventually everything's going to work out the way it's supposed to be. What's that saying? You are where you're supposed to be right now. Right.
Exactly.
But
And,
dude,
and that trust, though, right, Jack?
Oh,
It's
man.
a lot easier said than done
Woo!
to have that trust and have that faith.
Yeah. I mean, there's days you just want to like, you just like, you know, you want to shake them. Like if tough love doesn't work, loving them doesn't work. Screaming them, it doesn't work. Nothing works. And until they want
to be held accountable and they want to be known they're loved no matter what. Right.
Yeah.
And the same thing with our employees, though.
Yes.
Right. They want to know at the end of the day that we're there for them. You know, people ask me all the time, what makes you so different? It's not about the call center. It's not because we're in the US. It's because our employees and our team knows that they're cared about. Right. They know that it's not some BS, that if they need something, we're going to be here for them. And if they need to be held accountable, we're going to help them with that as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, so discipline and accountability, those are great. I think they're overused.
Sure.
Because a lot of people, I don't think people really get what that is. Like it's okay when you screw up, it's okay to talk about the screw up.
100%. That's how you learn.
Shit happens, right? We make mistakes here every day. But at the same time, I encourage, I always tell everybody, my kids, my staff, I need you tell me everything and I'll decide what's important and not important, right? You tell me
100%.
give me all the information that you have so we can make decisions, because we can literally fix anything that screws up, right?
Yes.
If I don't know about it, we can't fix it. And that's a hard lesson to learn too, because a lot of people are so either ashamed or they're embarrassed or they're upset with themselves, and usually this ain't rocket science, bro.
It's
You
not
know,
rocket science. But people have fear, though, Jack. And
Yeah.
sometimes, you know, I don't care if it's an employee of mine for the last 20 years or if it's someone that's been here for 2 days. We had an employee the other day that her boyfriend, 39 years old, had a heart attack, 99% blockage, and she's wigging out. But before she left, Jack, because again, it's the culture we set here and they know it. She's walking out the door and she comes back around. I was going to walk on anyway. She's like, Jack, I'm like, yeah. She's like, can you pray for me? I'm like, absolutely. And so again, to have that culture within our walls, that people know that you care, Jack, you know, they know that I care and our leadership team cares about them, and including our customers, right? They have to know as well that we care. And that's why we have the
transcends. I mean,
success that we do.
Dude, culture, I mean, once again, it's an overused term.
Right.
But how many, I mean, I've been in companies where it's miserable and they're still successful, but it's freaking miserable. And you walk in, you're like, oh my God, I got my head kicked in today, but they're still okay. But I don't know.
You say they're successful, right?
Well,
and it depends. Maybe they are, maybe financially they're successful.
Right. That's what I mean.
What happens when they go to bed at night could be a different story.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, exactly. That's my whole thing. I can go to bed every night, close my eyes, and I sleep my ass off because I know I may have failed a couple of things, but I did everything the best of my ability, and I'll do better tomorrow on some stuff, right? I mean, sometimes I say the wrong thing or I fire off an email to State Farm that had maybe too many adjectives in it, you know,
yes, sir.
or whatever. But at the same time, you know, it's not for lack of passion or lack of compassion. It's just in the heat of the moment, man. It's difficult, you know.
It is. But again, our kids, our employees, they're watching us. Yeah. They're watching everything we do or we don't do. So again, that's then when you can acknowledge that we're going to make mistakes, right? and I welcome them because it's how we're going to grow
Yep.
and how we handle them. And we're going to lose our cool, Jack, right? Especially with State Farm and others sometimes, sometimes with our clients.
Our kids.
But it's at the end of the day, what's the conclusion? How did you end it? Did you resolve the conflict in a healthy way?
Right.
And that's, again, part of that whole chapter of, growth.
I always tell the guy, it's a locker room here, man. Once we close that door and we're all in this office, it's a locker room, bro. I will lay down and whatever I need to do to make these people okay. Even when they screw up, like you said, it's okay. It's like, I can fix a bad email sent to a carrier. I can fix a wrong report coming in. I can fix a bad estimate, whatever. It's not a big deal. It's really not, man. And I want people to be open and I think Trev struggles with that the most just because he does want to let me down. I'm telling you, like, dude, I told him the other day, I'm like, dude, start making decisions, man. Like, I'd rather have you make a wrong decision. Just what do you think you ought to do? And he always has the right answer, but I want him to start being more confident with that. Like, dude, I got this, right? You don't need to come to me every 15 seconds for something, which he doesn't. But at the same time, I want him to grow into what and the weird part too, when I first started this thing a year ago, my partners and I, we were like, we want to do this for 9 years. We're going to sell. That was the deal. Right. And now it's like with Jude and Trevor here, I think I'm going to just keep the damn thing grow and let them run it in a few years. Cause
let them run it. Let them run it
better than I am.
Grow.
Right.
And it's not just them, right? Have they brought any friends into the business besides that, the two of them?
Not yet, but we're start recruiting some of them because they're all graduating now. So that's the next wave, right? I'm trying to get once my daughter graduates law school, I'm going to bring her in as our in-house attorney, but kicking and screaming because she's all, no thanks, Dad, right now, right?
As she should. But that's part of it, right? And again, it's not just my kids. I got a bunch of their friends that I coached on the football field and, in hockey, and now they're sitting in our office and you get to mentor them in a different lane. Yeah. And I wouldn't change anything for it.
Well, the cool part too, they have that trust factor, but they already know you're good to go, right?
Yes.
We were always the household that had the baseball team over, the sleepovers and the kids, and we always had a house full, man. Because I think
when you have a 25,000 square foot home, Jackie, that's the place to be.
That's not me, bro. That's not
basing them on. But you know what, man, 100%. It's because of who you are is why they were there.
Yeah, and I felt, and back to the employee kid thing, everybody needs to feel safe in their environment, including work. They need to be. It's okay to make decisions, right? We encourage that. Like, and I'm sure you guys do too, because you and I can't. I mean, we're going to be wrong a lot anyway. Number one, number two, if you and I have to make all the decisions and run the entire process, it's never going to work.
Well, and you're not going to allow people to grow, and you're not going to allow them to enable them to have the success that they're meant to have if you're too tight of a grip on it.
Yeah, you get to be. I don't want to be a roadblock, right? I want to be like,
Sure. But if we can mentor them and they can have the growth and just empower them, then we're halfway home.
Then we can retire and we can go to Ritz-Carlton in Naples and golf like we like to do.
Or sit at the bar and maybe have water together.
Yeah, a few of those. So I have a couple more questions here before we end. So you're probably my age, right? Give or take. If you had to go back 35 years or 30 years and grab yourself by the back of the neck and have a 15-minute discussion, what advice would you give a young, scrapping, head of hair Jack Pinsel?
I still have hair, buddy. I still have hair. That's a great question. And so a lot of that, Jack, let's go one step back. I wish I can slow down time. And we can't, right? But that flows into that next step is don't close your eyes, right? Because it goes by and, the cliche of someone saying, oh man, I wish I can go back. And like I said, I was blessed, Jack. I've been involved in my kids' lives. I've never missed doctor's appointments. I've been to every event. I've coached their events. I wish I would have learned earlier though, Jack, that the ability that you can impact the lives around you and not let it be about you first.
Yeah.
Right? So, I've been blessed. I've had that for a long time now, but back 35 years ago, it's how fast you can grow and, your accomplishments. And now it's about, hey, impact the lives around you, make a difference, and the rest falls into place. And that's been one of the best life lessons I've learned the last 20 years.
I think we all get caught on that hamster wheel, right? We're too busy, especially our generation, dude. We're all about, oh my God, like success and getting more stuff. And it's just, it got, the 80s and the 90s were all about that, bro. And that's where we grew up. And it was just insane, right?
Right.
How many, with the nice cars and and I still a little bit guilty of that. I like nice stuff. I like my Ritz-Carltons like you do, right?
There's nothing wrong with it if it's if it's in balance,
right.
it's okay.
Yeah,
If it's interfering and being a roadblock to things that are much more priority, then it's an issue.
And you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, and you're still staying at the Ritz. That's not good, right?
No, but also who else can you help, right? So again, you ask, who can you give that to, and what impact can you make in different groups and different organizations that are going to have a bigger impact than us going to, enjoy a nice stay at the Ritz as well.
Yeah.
And again, there's nothing wrong with it because I do it as well, but I'm trying to balance that better now.
Yeah, like I said, I think you and myself, and I think we have this sense of responsibility just to, man, this industry is such an untapped, open. It's I see a change coming, and I feel it a little bit, right? It's starting to be more cerebral and more thoughtful and more caring and more. It's not about let's be honest. Getting claims in and negotiating claims it's hard, but it's not okay.
Right.
The stuff we're talking about, the recovery programs and the mentorships and just being better people all around it and showing the way to these other guys. And, that response, I think because I'm getting so old now, I feel this responsibility. And it's kind of cool because I get calls every day from these young PAs, man. Like, dude, I don't know what the hell, like, I'm like, dude, let's just talk about it, and that makes
they're reaching out to you for a reason, Jack, right? Because again, what we said, they're watching you. And we can all talk a good game, but much more than they talk is our actions. And what do people see? And, that's some of the biggest compliments I can get when someone says, hey, I see your 100%. Story on Facebook. I want to partner with someone because we share the same values.
Yes.
And again, for our kids to see that and watch them grow and even surpass us in some of those areas, dude, it's amazing.
Well, that's what's exciting. I mean, in 15, 20 years, when your kids and my kids are running this stuff, I think the culture is going to be so just different, man. It's just like,
there's some things that aren't different, Jack, because Tim's walking around the office and he's flexing because he's in the gym. I'm waiting for him to work on his headlock, right? Because we'll have another Pinsel.
I'm waiting for Trevor to get this down better too, by the way.
Yeah, well, I think he's going to have a lot of opportunity to see it because all he's got to do is go to Facebook every picture.
That's right. It's called branding, Jack.
It is branding, and it's an amazing deal you do with that. And Jack, man, I'm blessed with our friendship.
Yeah, me too.
It's a privilege, and I'm actually more excited though about our future, right? Because we're going to continue to impact lives around us, and the man upstairs has a lot of good chapters in front of us.
Well, that's what's cool. Is now I think we kind of both established our careers. I think we're okay, and now we get to be like the positive influence thing. To me, is such a bigger agenda.
Right.
It's man, it's just, I got goosebumps right now.
That's the excitement. That's what wakes you up in the morning because there's an actual core value that we get to go experience.
Yeah.
And it's not about the money. It's not about the flex. It's about you're going somewhere and you know that you're positively impacting lives around you.
Yeah. That's awesome, right? That's what, in the day, that's what it's all about, dude.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Jackie. Right. If you were here, I'd get you in the headlock right about now. All right. But
all right,
I love
dude,
you, brother, man.
Let's spend 4 or 5 minutes.
Woo! Look at that hat, baby.
Look at that.
I'm gonna send you a new one. I just got some more in, but that looks good.
I want one of those hoodies too, by the way.
I got you a hoodie.
So can you? I mean, we didn't talk about business, dude. Can you kind of give your little what? Number one, you guys are phenomenal. I know your organization. I know your people. I refer the hell out of you when I can. You referred us, and I can't thank you enough for all the guys you've sent to us. So can you kind of give what you guys exactly do? I mean, you're not Hail Trace. This is a different ball game. So
I like Hail Trace. So
Derek's great.
Brandon's great. Is amazing. So we've been blessed, Jackie, 22 years of call center, residential, commercial leads, and much more deeper than that is making and helping contractors grow, right? So it's all about partnerships. Yep. The value that we give a younger contractor and partner them up with you, Jack, and help them on a commercial job that they would have never gotten. More importantly than the money is learning from Jack Hanks, right? So it's true, right? I'm not, it's not just a throw out to give you kudos. It's you're helping people. And it's why I refer so many people to the Hal Traces and to Jack and to so many different groups that we refer business to. I was never a fan of postcards, right? And then all of a sudden we get to meet Dope. And I saw that David had such a great technology among it. And so we refer so many pieces to them. I got Matt Danskin now with his referral program that he's doing to these agents. We're partnering with him. So Jack, the quick answer is, anything that we can help market your company and get more touches to be in front of more opportunities. That's what we do. But our core values is telemarketing.
Yeah. So I had a conversation. I do a lot of work with Nick Forsell. Like, we're all three of us are very good friends. We talked a little bit about you guys today. The reason why Nick's so successful with you, because he was telling me he was driving around a big hailstorm yesterday and he's sending Kim information to get that information out to everybody, not just him. So you guys can do the research. So the partnerships that we created within this industry, it's such a this cool vibe we have, dude. I get so our group. This might sound cocky and arrogant, but it's the people that we are associated with in our core group is just it's awesome. It's amazing to me.
And it's success stories, right? Like we have Will might kick my butt for this, but it's okay. He's priority in Texas. He just closed a $6 million commercial job.
Hell yeah.
Our whole office celebrates that.
Yeah, heck yeah.
The girl who got that lead, the smile on her face, right? And everyone's going to share the reward of this as well, but it's just so amazing to see the client succeed. Yes. And it's why we do what we do.
Every day.
Part of the reason. Yes, sir.
All right,
thank you again, Jack. Thank you for having us on.
That's an hour already. Can you believe that?
It's been a fast hour.
I know, right? I can't. I mean, email, phone number. How do they get a hold of you if they have questions?
hal911.com. Go to Facebook. Check us out. Anything I can do to help anyone. We're good on hit lists, Jack. Commercial, and that's your name of the game. Our clients are giving us a lot of hit list specific properties that they want, and we're opening up the doors and hotels and churches and apartments, property management that people haven't been able to do before. So we appreciate our partnerships and blessed to be doing it.
We'll call these guys. They're the best in the business, man. I appreciate everything. And Jack, I do have a parting gift for you.
Yeah.
So
here we go.
So as my twice a year text to you and Mr. Forsell, you won.
The only person that's going to like this is Matt Spanton, right? That I'm going to give you his address. Your Packers are amazing. Our Bears have a lot of work to do.
We got to get to that game this year though in October. We got to sit there. So
yeah, we will. We'll get there soon. I think you're going to be here soon. Then we'll hit a Cubbies game.
Yeah, we got so there's going to be a big announcement in a couple of weeks with Jack and I, another entity. It's going to be pretty cool. We'll let you all know here pretty quick. We're getting the details worked out. So exciting.
Jack, thanks for having me on. Everyone have an awesome day.
Mr. Pinsel, thank you guys. Peace.
Yes. Later.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Because Experience Matters podcast. That's all for today's show. If you want to learn more or work with Jack in person, visit www.thejackhanks.com. Oh, and don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on iTunes or Spotify to continue to grow the podcast and change the industry.